Hey guys, it's Daniel. Welcome to my channel. I hope you like my flannel. Now that that's out of the way, thanks for joining my channel Slow Haste, where we talk about synths, electronic music, and the creative process. And today we're playing with the Digitone, the Digitakt, and the key step yet again. This video is going to focus on the contextualization of ambient music, specifically taking an ambient passage and turning it into a beat, really. I really like ambient music. I like textural music, but I got into music by taking drum lessons when I was a kid, so I inevitably kind of feel a beat in everything. And with the Electron machines, how I kind of take advantage of that is by intentionally creating melody and chord progressions before I dive into a percussion section. I feel like percussion provides context, right? That's what it is. You can play a melody or a set of chords, and then you can play like a halftime beat or a break beat, and that kind of determines the feel of the song. So yeah, I really want to talk about it and show you this piece I've been working on in the context of the contextualization of melody. And it's a really cool exercise that I've been doing with this ambient piece that I'm just going to play for you now and kind of talk you through. So let's take a listen. So this is coming from a synth on the Digitone, track 1. It's very floaty, right? But it's quick, it's lively. There's rhythm to it. But we're going to recontextualize it here. And you're not going to be able to go back to what you heard before. So, a strange thing happened when I was creating this piece. I set off by playing that arpeggio on the key step and tracking it onto the grid. And then I added the pad on the other side of the stereo field. And then I said, I want to put a beat behind this. And I programmed a beat because everything was tempo synced with the Digitakt already at 70 beats per minute. And then I stepped away, right? I stepped away from the piece and kind of forgot about it. And I came back and I played what I just played for you on the Digitone. And I couldn't remember how the drum part went. I just specifically couldn't really remember the drum sounds that I used. But once I played it with the beat, it's hard to listen to just the notes and hear it without that backbeat going on, right? It recontextualizes the melody that felt like it didn't necessarily have any place when you were listening to it without any rhythm. This happens to me a lot with music that I like to listen to that has like a weird ambient intro. You're like, what is happening? What is this like floaty ethereal thing? And then as soon as a beat contextualizes and provides, an environment for that music to live in, you can't really hear that intro or that ethereal bit without hearing the beat behind it, right? It's an interesting phenomenon where you have this floatiness that you can't place, and then as soon as your brain connects a rhythm to it and associates that as a song, it doesn't seem as like cool or fantastical or foreign anymore, which is really interesting how we kind of get to learn music that way. So I was playing around a bit, and I kind of did like a B part with like a more kind of like sped up beat to show you how that context could be placed differently. So this is the original. So I personally prefer the first beat, but I just kind of wanted to do something a little bit more vamped up to show you how it can kind of change the context of the music and notes playing. So a couple of things that I did other than just changing the beat to kind of mold the melody and the chords to that rhythm. So I'm just going to play this pad synth. And we're in pattern 4 here. So I have the LFO being sent to the amplitude volume with the wave set to, with the wave set to the exponential curve. The speed's at 32, the depth is all the way down, and the BPM is at 32, and the mode is set to the trig, so you get this sort of pumping. I accidentally sent the LFO to the pan on accident. Hopefully that didn't get in there at all. So I'm actually going to bring in the kick drum with that so you can hear how those interact. So you get a bit of like this pumping action on this synth pad sound. And if you go back to the more mellow pattern on pattern 3, where the kick is more laid back, I did that sort of similar pumping technique with the sidechain, but I just had the BPM at 16. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of a fun exercise in kind of creating an ambient piece and then giving it context with the drums. And it's kind of hard to do that exercise with the same ambient melody twice because now I have like a feel of what it should sound like in my head, right? But it's easy enough to kind of program an ambient patch on the Digitone and record a simple sequence and then place it and give it some more excitement and movement by adding drums. This was also kind of an exercise to push me into some of the more ambient territory with the Digitone, particularly with patch design from scratch. So I think it's a step in the right direction for me and where I want to go with the Digitone and how I want to be using it more. But yeah, how do you folks tend to build your sequences on these Electron devices? I know that you can really approach it from any different way. Even just talking to people about the MIDI routing, there are infinite possibilities on how to sync all of these friends up together. And some of that can definitely inform how you arrange and compose your music on them. Yeah, do you guys tend to start with the drums? Do you start with a certain melodic element, or do you kind of generate an idea in your head first and then try to get it down on the paper that is the grid of these devices? Let me know, because I'm always looking for new ways to approach my songwriting. I think that using different methods, especially when starting off a song, can really push and influence the direction that it will ultimately go into. Real quick before I go, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please consider giving the video a like or subscribing to the channel. It really helps with visibility and lets me know what kind of stuff y'all are into learning about. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thanks so much for watching and take care. Peace.